Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode number 145 of the Debt Free Dad podcast. The holiday season is right around the corner. It's crazy to say that. And the holidays typically add on a lot of financial stress, especially this year with prices being as high as they are. Now, today we're going to be sharing our tips on how we budget for the holidays. And hopefully you can use these so you can enjoy the holidays more and stress way less. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Debt Free Dad podcast, where we're helping normal, everyday people learn how to save money and kick debt so they can live a happier and stress-free life. Now here's your host, Debt Free Dad, Brad Nelson.
Hey, how is everyone doing today? You can find me on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. Just search Brad Nelson, Debt Free Dad. And as always, we would love to connect with you on some of those social platforms. And as always, welcome to today's show. Remember to get all the resources, show notes, and links for today's show. Head over to balancesense.com/145. That's BALANCEDCENTS.com/145. So guys, it is that time of year for that special episode that we always have to do. All about Christmas budgeting, right? By the way, this is, I have to say, this is probably like one of my favorite Christmas, I turned it off, there we go. My favorite Christmas songs. Obviously, Home Alone. Which, by the way, my family, as far as some fun things that we're going to do this Christmas, the Home Alone house is actually not too far from where we live. It's only about 50, 60 minutes, and we're going to go take a drive down and go check it out. I'm a total dork when it comes to that. But I knew it was there, but I didn't really start realizing it was as close as it was until I started seeing some people on Facebook posting that they were there. I was like, I got to totally go and check that out. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing. But how excited are you guys about the holidays? You guys looking forward to them? Obviously, when this show comes out, it's in October, right? So we still got a few months, but you guys excited? Believe it's here, ready to go?
Sure. Chris, it is, I moved to a warmer climate years ago. So part of that is a little different. I grew up, Wisconsin, winter, snow, had a different feel of Christmas. And I would say that, ever since moving away, it's just different. There's Christmases where it's beautiful outside, it's there, you might see a little snow every once in a great while, but for the most part, it's hard to get into that Santa, snow, sleigh rides, when it's not super cold and you don't see much of that.
Yeah.
But also the kids are older too. And, we're in a weird transition. It was always fun when the kids were younger, they're ripping open their presents, excited. Now I've got basically 2 adults and 1 almost adult and plus us. And it's fun, but it's just different,
Yeah.
And even nowadays too, I think Christmas is just, I'm just sound like an old person here, but it's just the nostalgia of it all. When we were younger, it was just, toys weren't in the stores all year. You waited for that Christmas catalog to see things, and there was all this anticipation. And so now it's just kind of like, I feel like you're so inundated. Like I was in Hobby Lobby, I think even a month ago already, and all their stuff's already out. And so by the time Christmas is over, I'm like, oh, thank God. Like I've been looking at it for 6 months.
Yeah. I'm with you. I was in Ace Hardware yesterday because we had a little friendly critter in our house, a little mouse that found its way into our house. So I had to find a couple more traps. But ended up getting the mouse, which is good, right? But it's getting colder here. Crazy enough. It's all of a sudden summer's over and it's all of a sudden freezing. But anyways, yeah, I go in there and they're a little bit behind, I think, than most people, but they're putting up their Christmas stuff already. And it's the end of September as we're recording this. But I'm with you. I actually, we have a holiday tradition in our house that we take everything down the day after Christmas and we're done.
Yep.
I'm not looking forward to it. I am not the most Christmassy person.
No?
I like it. It's fun for the day, but leading up to it and all the hype and stuff, no, it's not looking forward to it.
So what don't you look forward to? Like the present buying and all like the stress and hustle and bustle to get everything done type stuff?
It's the stress and leading up to it. And oh my gosh, I got to clean my house. And oh my gosh, I got to get all the food ready. And
I know.
it's just so much. I would just rather go out and spend a little bit of time with my immediate family.
Right.
And yeah,
I like doing the fun things, but I'm not a big fan of crazy going to the stores. I think online purchasing has made life easier. I think, you don't necessarily, like my wife and I, we used to do big Black Friday shopping many years ago, but we don't even do that anymore. We just go online when we want to shop, and I think that's taken a lot of the stress off. But I like just the festivities part of it. I think that's still fun, taking the kid. Of course, my kids are young, so they're still in that, magical Christmas. And by the way, if you got young kids listening to this, we don't want to give any away of Santa's secrets. You may want to listen to this when they're not around. But, they're still in that huge, like Ryan said, ripping open presents. In fact, my daughter's birthday was just this past weekend, and she just turned 4, so she's like totally into gifts now. So it makes it a lot of fun, right? My son, he's 13. He's kind of getting grouchy now, but I'm looking forward to the holidays. I think they're going to be fun, but yeah, I can only take so much. And then, day after it's like, it's all gone. So that's been our tradition, but anyways, we want to talk a little bit about how to prepare financially for the holidays. And again, I know if you've been listening to this podcast for some time, if you look past our library, we talk about this subject every year. And I think it's important to talk about because there's a lot of people that deal with a lot of financial stress this time of year. And it all has to do with the holidays, whether it be, doing things with your family or having to do gift exchanges and then just having to navigate just regular financial stress you're already dealing with. And how do you fit this all in? And, I find that with a lot of our Roots members, we tend to have a lot more people that are reaching out and asking, hey, what should I do? What are some of your, thoughts on some of these things? And so I think it's just really important that we kind of pull this subject out as we kind of get closer. Now, if you have our Totally Awesome Debt Freedom Planner, in that planner, every 3 months or so, I'm reminding you, hey, holidays are 9 months away. Hey, the holidays are 6 months away. Hey, the holidays are 3 months away. We are constantly giving reminders in that planner because of the stress that it causes. And if you look at some of the statistics from 2021, there's a couple of different studies or polls, I should say, I want to share. According to a CNBC.com article by Jessica Dickler, between buying presents, plane tickets, party supplies, 36% in this poll of consumers went into debt, owing an average of $1,249, according to a survey by LendingTree. Most holiday borrowers with debt put it on their credit cards, although for the first time, nearly 40%, guys, and this is one I want to watch, because I think this is going to continue to keep going up. 40% of Americans last year in 2021 used so-called buy now, pay later financing, which we did a whole podcast episode on that, I believe last year. And that is not even being counted in the debt, right, that people are taking on because it's not being put on credit cards. But the report found that 40% of people are now using those as well. And this was a poll of about 2,000 adults they did between December 14th and December 20th of 2021. Another article from benefitspro.com by Alan Goforth. Although spring has arrived, many consumers, and this was written in the spring of 2021, so we're talking months after the holidays are over, mind you. It says, although spring has arrived, many consumers are reminded of the holiday season every time they open up their credit card statements. Americans spent on average in this poll slightly less, $1,131 during the holidays in 2021. And according to a recent survey by MoneyGeek, as of last month, 4 in 10 of them still were paying for their generosity. On average, consumers charged 65% of their holiday spending, and more than 4 in 10 put more than half of their holiday expenses on a credit card, and 1/3 charged all of their expenses. People with exceptional credit put the largest percentage of their spending on a credit card. Obviously, I can understand, probably trying to earn points and rewards. Among the other findings, surveys respondents between the ages of 35 and 54 had the highest level of unpaid debt at 48%. Only 17% of those with exceptional credit had not paid off their holiday debt by February. The average respondent carried a credit card balance for 4 months of the year, excluding people who paid off their credit cards every month. Respondents typically carried a balance for 7 months of the year. 7 months! 1/5 of them carry a balance every month, and nearly 1 in 5 respondents said they regret how much they spent on the holiday season, although 7% wish they had spent more. That's interesting. I'd like to be a gift receiver from those people, right? Women were 35% more likely than men to regret overspending, which is interesting. And while people aged 25 to 44 had the most spending regret in general. So I want to include those because I know that there's probably some people out there that are like, yeah, it's the holidays, maybe not such a big deal. But as you can see, just from those numbers, the majority of people do get stressed. They do go into debt during the holidays to afford it. And not only do they go into the debt, but they're also using next year's money to pay for last year's holiday spending. And it's really hard to get your finances in a better place if you're constantly putting yourself in that situation year after year, right? Because then you're not figuring in like, oh, the insurance deductible that comes out next year, or the child that needs an emergency room visit, or you're not figuring in all the normal life expenses, and now you're piling that on top of even more and more debt. I went into our Facebook groups, our Life Without Payments group, and our Debt Free Dad community, and I asked, Christmas is less than 3 months away. Financially speaking, how does that make you feel? So guys, here are some of the comments. Michelle says, great. I started a sinking fund in January. Now, Michelle, she's been in Roots, so she knows what she's doing. That's awesome. Katie also in Roots, because we only buy presents for my niece and nephew now, and the adults make charity donations. Money isn't as tight for this time of year, which is awesome for them. It's more about the time together and the memories than actual gifts. The kids are 4. They still love coloring empty cardboard boxes. That's so true. Star says, I want to scream. Lisa says, I want to cry. Chris says, honestly, I'm great. And again, she too has been in our Roots program, has done very well, became completely debt-free, and they are ready for the holidays. Carrie says, stressed, and I want to cry. Jocelyn says, nauseous. Heather Martin says, no worries. She's also been in Roots. Milargo Ortiz, been ready since July with 4 kids. This mama never waits till December to start shopping. A huge credit to you. I always I find it impressive, those people who are able to start early. And then Becky Westerman, just wrapping this up, stressed especially since Christmas is a month and a half after I close on our new house. So guys, there you have it. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Now, you guys have had kind of the before and after. You guys are debt-free now, outside of mortgages, and you guys also did Christmas when you were in debt. Like, can you talk about the differences that you guys experience now versus what it was like before? Can you relate to some of these?
I spent way more. We spent way more money. We went way overboard for gifts before we got out of debt than we do now. Now we really think about, what are we giving? What's the meaning of it? Does it have any, is it going to last? Is that memory going to last? Really? We really, really think about that. So we're giving less stuff.
That's interesting. So your mindset, completely changed.
Completely changed. Yeah.
If I'm a gift receiver, I'm disappointed. I'm like, I like you better in debt.
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, did anyone notice that? Did they say, hey, this is way less, right? What's up?
If they did, they didn't say anything. I mean, I'm not cheap. I mean, we spent a lot on our granddaughter.
Yeah.
But we've definitely changed how we spend our money on people. But no one said anything, so I don't know. Maybe they're thinking it.
Yeah, we all those statistics you read, I mean, that was 100%. 100% me. I mean, right? I mean, we were living the paycheck to paycheck lifestyle. We didn't have money to save, and every year at Christmas it was like, crap, what are we going to do? And I will say that when we were in debt, my wife hated Christmas because she knew it meant we were going in more debt. We were putting things on credit cards. And it really, to go in debt, it really makes you angry when you buy that thing for your 4-year-old and all they want to do is color the box. Yeah. Because you're going to be paying that thing off that you bought for months. And so for us now, it's like, now we buy what we buy, we spend what we spend, and it's good. And if someone doesn't use it as much, as it doesn't matter. You can actually enjoy it. You can give it freely, and you don't have that immediate regret, kind of like what some of the people were saying in the group, right? That regret of we just spent all this money. Now we have to pay this off, and they don't even like half the stuff. And now you're angry and mad. It just takes it all away. So for us, it's just a lot more enjoyable at the holidays to give gifts. And after the holidays over, you don't think about it. You're done. Yeah. And you just start saving for next year.
Right. Yeah, totally agree. And I've got one of those items sitting on my shelf just on the other side of my studio over here that was given to a certain person who just really had to have this thing and went and searched all over for it, literally used it twice, and now it just sits there. So yeah, I totally understand. But it was paid for. So it's like, it still hurts, but it's not as bad as if, man, I'm still paying for this and it's not even being used. But I think for me, from an enjoyment standpoint, like we talked about earlier, like the whole hustle and bustle of it, I think doing it with cash, whether you're debt free or not, doing the holidays with cash, I feel personally just takes a lot of the stress off the situation. It allows you to enjoy participating in the holidays a lot more. And it also gives you almost this empowered feeling that, you know, this is your budget, this is your limit, this is what you're going to spend, and this is who you're going to spend it on, and that's it. Like, when it's gone, it's gone. When it's done, it's done. Now, it took a couple years of practice to get to that point, but I think it's made a huge difference in the experience of the holidays and not having to go further and further into debt for some of those things. And in fact, I think right when we started the podcast, I don't remember what episode this was. It was very early on though. Isn't there actually like a holiday? It's called like Blue Monday or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where it's like the first few credit card statements of the new year come from holiday spending, and they've actually like determined it's called Blue Monday. It's supposed to be one of the most depressing Mondays of the entire year, and a lot of it has to do with these credit card statements now coming through. So if you haven't got the first tip, guys, it's really about setting an amount that you can afford is going to be key. I think also setting an amount, having a plan is going to help you defend against the powerful marketing that's really already started. Ryan, I mean, you mentioned you went into a store, Christmas stuff is already out. Ads are going to start popping up. And it's not just the marketing from advertisers and retailers, and it's also the herd marketing, right? It's the herd mentality of the holidays and getting almost pressured to participate, maybe spend more than you shouldn't to really give that, I don't know, I guess you'd call it magical Christmas experience, right? So I think setting that amount and having that plan early is really going to help you defend against a lot of that stuff and essentially set yourself up to say no means no. This is our amount. This is what we're going to stick with.
Yeah, I mean, like it's easy to get wrapped up in buying stuff. I mean, especially when we were in debt, we were really, we just, and even still, I mean, I still think sometimes, I'm probably guilty of it. If my wife was here, she'd probably say I'm for sure guilty of it. It's just like, did we get him enough? Did we have this? And just that feeling of like, did we do everybody even? Do we get, or maybe we should get a little more. It's like, it's easy to get wrapped up in that, you didn't give them enough. But even when we were getting out of debt and we scaled Christmas way back, my kids, we felt terrible. My kids didn't really care that much. I mean, I don't want to say they weren't at all disappointed, but there were a number of years there where it was what it is. And they're fine. And they don't come to me now and be like, remember that one year where we didn't get a lot of stuff? Like they don't care. So I think it's us as adults that are putting that pressure on ourselves to like provide this experience for them that quite honestly, they're going to be fine if you don't give it to them to that level.
Right. Right. Yeah. I think, I don't think kids, again, maybe some would, but I think most probably, and again, with all the stuff you can buy, especially when they're little. I mean, my daughter's like so easy. I mean, she's going to be 4. I mean, it's so easy to do something very inexpensive and still have it be a great Christmas. When they get older, I find it's a little bit more challenging. It's like the smaller the stuff gets, the more expensive it gets, right? There's no question. The other thing I think is helpful too, guys, is just getting started early. Now, we mentioned, and I forget who said that. Was that, Milagro. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name incorrectly. Milagro? Is that how you spell it? Say it?
That's how I would say it.
Anyways,
Milagro.
She's already started since July. I mean, I think that's pretty impressive. But it's not necessarily just starting your shopping, but it's more or less just preparation and preparing. In July or even in the beginning of 2023 to start thinking about, hey, we just got done with the holidays. How much do we spend? And can we set up like a sinking fund? Can we set up a savings plan? Can we start preparing early enough to put that money away for us and then be able to not have to stress and worry so much and take it all out of like a couple of months worth of paychecks and trying to figure it all out, right? If you do it throughout the year, a small amount, it makes it a lot less stressful. And it's pretty awesome when you get to October and November and you got this pile of savings that's just reserved for your holiday spending. So preparing early is going to be super important. Also, I think, guys, prioritizing really who you're going to buy for based on what you have for your budget, right? And really divvying it up based on, if you're someone who likes to buy presents for a lot of people, that's fine. But if you have a set amount, then you just know, okay, this is the money I have to work with, and this is how far I've got to stretch this between the people that I got to purchase for.
I think that list is what really keeps me on track, because I have a list for everybody. They're in my phone. I know what I put what I'm thinking of getting them, and it allows me to budget based on my list. And I think that's what keeps me on check for, at least for the gift part of it.
Yeah.
Well, and I have cut people off.
Did they notice?
you put in, you put them in priority sequence, and sometimes they don't make the cut that year.
You know what? I think I'm not on that list. I didn't get anything.
I don't think I've ever sent you anything. No.
Look at how I rate, guys. Look at how I rate. Oh, too funny. But when you prepare early, also, you can also determine, like, heck, are we going to have enough money for it? I think, we talk about stuff a lot. Like, this is a great opportunity. Like, if you're preparing early enough, have rummage sales, have garage sales, pick up extra hours, work extra hours, pick up side jobs. Like, there are so many different opportunities, especially right now. There are so many places that are hiring for just things like that you could easily pick up something just temporarily just to get you enough money to work through those holidays that you don't have to go into debt for some of those things. So think about those things too as you're thinking about it right here in October. I mean, right now, they're already starting to hire for a lot of that seasonal help. So keep your eyes open for that. If money's going to be tight, you don't want to go into debt. There's a lot of different ways that you can also make the money too to help you afford the Christmas that you guys want to have. And then don't forget to account for other expenses as well. And these are probably the ones that probably surprise more people. I know they surprised us a lot. It's just like things like, the extra holiday stuff. Like if you're going to go to concerts and festivals, or you're going to have holiday travel, or even figuring in, like, if you're going to have Christmas at your place, or if you're going to someone's Christmas and you got to bring things, like, make sure you're budgeting for a lot of those things. Obviously, if you get a Christmas tree, get a real Christmas tree, make sure you budget for those things. Holiday decorations, make sure you budget for some of those things. Going out to eat is a big one for us during the holidays. We typically don't eat out a ton, but we find that we eat out more in the month of December, and even sometimes late November, just because we're busy running around, holiday stuff going on, kids have concerts, and there's just a lot more stuff going on that typically isn't going on. And we run out of time, we don't prepare as much, and we tend to eat out more. So we found this out, and now we just budget more to eat out those months, and it's included just in our holiday spending, just so we're not going over budget on that.
Yeah, I think the holiday parties and the eating out and the just the food in general, especially with food prices and everything going up, I think this is something you really got to account for when it comes to your holiday budget, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people probably tend to miss it because you get busy. Well, I think we've shared enough statistics on this show that shows that a lot of people just don't prioritize their finances enough. And so it's just easy, right? Not only are you overspending on just the gift giving part of it, but it's the whole busy part of it too. It's the increase going out to eat. It's all of the other things that go along with it. And it adds up really, really quick. The other thing too about preparing early is that you get to take advantage of early sales, right? So for instance, if you're someone who takes advantage of what we call our sinking funds, where essentially a sinking fund is just a savings goal for X amount of dollars, and you just set aside that money every single month to reach that goal, right? And if you're doing that throughout the year, this is a great opportunity for you to be able to take advantage of sales or take advantage of things that you run into that maybe you normally wouldn't. Like, for instance, we made a purchase for somebody in our family back in August for Christmas because we had the cash in this sinking fund for Christmas. We found this really cool thing. We're like, we got to have this. This would be awesome for them. And we were able to buy it. Now, I can tell you years ago, if that was me, it would have been no way. And if I had to buy it, I would have been putting it on a credit card, right? So by being able to prepare early, you can obviously pay cash for a lot of those things too, and which also keeps you out of credit card debt.
Yeah, I mean, for us, this is, I mean, probably one of the biggest things we do. I mean, I know, like, my wife does a lot of the holiday shopping now, and she's already like got their list, and we're already looking at things. You can stretch your money a lot further too when you're doing this, especially like you said, some of these big sales that happen, if you're waiting until that last minute or the week before, you potentially, that same amount of money could buy you a lot less. So if you can get started early, I mean, this has been proven for us year over year. She does an awesome job doing this.
Yeah. Well, and I think they have found and determined that, like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, they have some good deals on some things, but they're not always the best deals throughout the year, right? Sometimes they offer the better deals at different times of year. You look at, what are they, Prime Days, right? There's huge deals that go on Prime Days. Are those going to be the same that you get on Black Friday? I don't know, right? But those are ways that you can take advantage of some of those different sales by having cash and having a plan for the holidays early, where you can do some of that stuff. So at the end of the day, I truly believe, Christmas and the holiday shopping season happen the same time every single year, right? And I feel like a lot of the stress is just a lack of preparedness. It's a lack of planning. And if you just do your due diligence and really put together a holiday budget, put together some of these tips that we've shared here with you here today, the holidays do not have to be nearly as stressful as they are. But you got to get started. And it's the same thing that we talk about with just everything revolving personal finance. We talk about how to stay out of debt, how to build your emergency fund, how to reduce your debt, how to reduce stress. It all comes from being proactive and being intentional and just making it a priority in your daily life.
Hey, if you love planners, this is for you. But do you know why planners frustrate me? Because they only really get it half right. Now, sure, they're really good and fancy about helping you manage your time, which is really important, obviously. That's what a planner's for. But where they get it wrong is money, the second most valuable resource in our lives. Most planners don't include any financial planning, things like, keeping track of paydays, bills, due dates, spending, yearly expenses, budgets, cash flow planning, debt elimination plans, and goal planning, right? None of that stuff. That's a real pain. And then what? Then you got to create your own in some silly binder, right? And who has time for all of that stuff? So instead, what happens? Nothing, right? A lot of people tend to ignore their finances even more, and things only get worse. Well, that all ends today because I am so excited to announce and release my brand new, totally awesome Debt Freedom Planner. This thing's awesome, by the way. Now, before you say, Brad, I've already got a planner. This is not an ordinary day planner. This is the Debt Freedom Planner, which is a companion tool that works with your day planner, and it's built to help you manage your money, pay off more debt, and melt away financial stress. And I believe this is the tool that a lot of people who want to take control of their finances have been waiting for. So head on over to therealdebtfreedad.com, click on the Debt Freedom Planner in the menu to get access to your planner today.
Hey, what's this I see? I thought this was a party! Let's
All right. That means it's time for the celebrations of the show. And today we are kicking it off with Stephanie Barrett. Stephanie is celebrating. She paid off her Target card this morning. $1,785 is now gone. Stephanie, huge congratulations. I'm sure that felt amazing.
Jillian Whitney, I just started last weekend. I successfully tracked all spending this week.
That is awesome. That is a big task, is really determining where you're at, where your money's going. So good for you, Jillian. That's a great win.
Sonia Coons, a few weeks ago, I got an estimate for my dog's surgery, scheduled it in December, and started a sinking fund, and I already have almost $400 in it.
Yeah, that's an awesome win, Sonia. Yep, preparing early, just like we talked about for the holidays. Great planning. Deidre Scott paid an additional $250 on my last credit card, paid cash for a dress for my son's wedding coming up next month, put back more money towards the rehearsal dinner, which we are paying for, should have enough put back now, which is awesome. Way to go, Deidre. Great wins.
Gina Christie made a big decision this week. I traded in my 2018 vehicle for a 2012 car that's in great shape. I had equity in the 2018, so I was able to get a great deal. I lowered my payment and shortened the length of my loan.
That is incredible, Gina. Congratulations to you. And again, just a small change, well, big change, but going to make a huge difference, right? And what a sacrifice to make. I know for me, getting rid of a car payment, lowering the car payments were just huge. So that's a great, great win.
Lacey Love, I have eaten at home for 2 weeks straight and getting better with meal prepping.
There you go, Lacey. Congratulations to you, and congratulations to all you guys who are working your ways out of debt. And if you're just getting started with our podcast, or maybe you've been listening for some time and you're interested in how you can get started on the road to financial freedom, head over to balancesense.com or therealdebtfreedad.com and sign up for my free Life Without Payments workshop, where I am going to show you the first steps that have helped tens of thousands of people just like you and I kick financial stress and worry for good. And thanks for hanging out with us here today. We love your feedback, and it also helps us grow our podcast. So please leave us an honest review. We read every single one of those. And as you guys know, the Debt Free Dad podcast is here to help you live a happier and stress-free financial life. So if you know someone who could benefit from our show, please give us a share. We appreciate you, and we will see you guys on an upcoming episode. Take care.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us here today. We love your feedback, and it also helps us grow our YouTube show. So please give us a like or leave us some honest feedback on this video. And if you want the latest from the show, obviously be sure to hit that notification bell and subscribe to our channel. And for the latest resources, or if you want more information on how to kick debt and financial stress, please be sure to check out the links in this video or head over to therealdebtfreedad.com. We'll see you guys on an upcoming show. Take care.